hey, hey, 1, 2, 2. Testing 1, 2, 2, 2. Hey, hey. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk you through my template that I use, and I am going to then just make something for the next hour, something new for the crack, and you'll get a bit of an insight into the workflow and hopefully pick up an old trick or two. But I'll probably feel free to chat away in the comments there. I have a screen just down below that I can see, but I might be kind of in the middle of this, but I'll try and check them every so often. But yeah. No, actually, you might see that when I yeah. So basically, I have my controller here MIDI mapped to Reaper so that I can enable and disable my record arm even. And basically the reason is so that I have my audio interface set up that I can, basically what I can do is I can monitor myself through my studio monitors and also flip on a pair of headphones. And the idea is to mute this microphone that I'm talking into right now as I actually say as I'm using the studio monitors here, and that's just because I don't want to create like kind of feedback loop or for basically this to pick up any bleed on the speakers. Now the only thing is it's a Novation Launchpad Mini, which basically is a control surface natively for Ableton. So yeah, I need to figure out whether or not I can just actually default have this turned off, because every time I open Ableton it recognizes it, which is obviously great if that's what you wanted for, but in this case not so much. So I'm just disabling it there. Now you'll see that when I press the buttons on, you'll see Reaper's record arm goes off, and it shouldn't have anything here flashing, which would have been the control surface would have been triggering this square. So you'll see now, yeah, see, works, so it's fine. That's just a little bit about the setup for the streaming. I'll probably do a full video on that, but I'm using this loopback software, which is great. This is the audio device I'm using here. So Reaper's taking my audio in, and then Ableton is also, now it's currently muted there, so you can probably see that. Try on my APC 40 there now. Okay, so you should see that, yeah, the APC 40 is coming on, and now I can just mute and unmute. So if I unmute, I'm going to actually have to mute my mic. These are grouped weird, so my banks are a bit all over the place. See what it does? Yeah, cool. So now you should have audio to the stream there. Now you'll be hearing the beats, and I'm not, but I'm going to mute my microphone here, and then I'm going to turn up the studio monitors for myself here. Okay, so the thing here is the default template. I like the 909, I like the 808, so they open automatically. And I have these rooted. These are the Roland Cloud plugins. So basically what I have set up here is just a 909 just with a pattern that's playing within the built-in sequencer here. And the sequencer has, you can program like 8 different sequences there, and which is really handy. But what I kind of use, you'll see actually, sorry, I'll open up this. See, edit. So this is our pattern. Now that's all well and good. Kind of everything is playing there at some point, which is obviously not great, not a great pattern, but it kind of confirms for me here in these channels in the background that every channel is routed correctly. So what I've done is, if you go into this option here, right, so you see you have option, then you have sub output, and this is essentially like your analog outputs on the actual analog 909. They had like multiple different different outputs there that you could use. Like you'd usually run a jack, like a mono cable, or probably balanced, like I don't know, I suppose it probably depends on if there's much of a buzz off your device, but yeah, probably balanced would be better. So basically I created an audio channel for all of these, so I can essentially just press record on each one of these cells, and then what'll happen is it'll record the audio from the 909, which is a good way of printing to audio, because I have a bit of an issue with the 909. Great device, but you'll probably see here, right, this bass drum tune thing, right? So say like you can see the parameters here of the 909, like so it corresponds to that. So like if I was to drag this now, I might see the tune top left, that one. So that goes right. Now if I save the project, right, and I have my setting down here, if I reopen the project, then the tune option defaults back to its 0, but this parameter is still like down here. So the problem is all of my tuning and all of my decay settings and attack and all the rest, like they all they just don't really work. So you have to go and reset every single thing after it. I don't know if it's a glitch, I don't know what it is, but Roland Cloud, it's great sounding stuff, but it's so dodgy at times. It just can be infuriating a lot of the time as well. But yeah, it's solid for this kind of thing right now. But that's also the good thing about having it printed to audio straight away, is it makes you commit to what you're doing as well, which I think is a huge thing as well, because otherwise what'll happen is you know, if you dwell on stuff for way too long, you kind of lose that initial buzz off it that you get when you make it in the first place, and that can kill the energy of the production and all that kind of stuff. So no harm printing stuff to audio, but then again, like, you know, if you're a beginner, you know, I suppose it's one of those things where you're probably going to have to think about, you know, not printing straight away, because chances are what you do mightn't be the best you can get out of a certain instrument or whatever. But yeah, sure, look, we'll carry on. 909, same crack with the 808, literally the same, just a different drum machine. This lo-fi kit is made up of the Zenology things. They're like a new instrument. Now, I'm definitely not using these right. I definitely came up with my own little workaround to get this to work properly for me, and it's grand, but they're cool sounds in there. I know there's an update that I haven't done yet that I need to do, which might open it up a little bit more. I think there's a Jupiter 8 setting in it, but yeah, it's cool device. You'll probably hear it there on the stream, and yeah, a couple of different sounds which I kind of like. Now my sends are made up of a couple of different things here. Now there's actually one here that I need to just make while I'm talking to you. So I'll go to plugins, audio units, Slate Digital. They have this thing called the Everything. Oh no, it's not called the Everything bundle anymore. I think they changed the name. But essentially it's a subscription service, and it just gets you a load of different plugins. Now there's actually tons of different stuff, but the one that I'm just going to use right now is it's a saturator, because something I've started doing lately is running my saturators on a send as opposed to as an insert effect. And yeah, it's just, I think it's cool, you know. It's definitely made my sounds a bit more interesting. So what I'll do is I'll turn the saturation, well, mix is the most important thing. I'll turn the saturation up to about 7. It can get a bit hairy with this, so you don't really want to drive it too hard, or else it'll give you like just, it's kind of meant to emulate the digital or analog distortion, but to be honest, it can be a bit clippy and rotten, like, so drive it in, but just be careful. My camera now. So the Hollywood is there's a couple of saturators here, Hollywood, London and New York. They're all good. I really used Hollywood a lot. The reason I like it is because with this, right, you know, if you use Ableton Saturator, you throw up the drive or whatever, like, you know, change your parameters, it tends to affect the volume a lot, whereas the saturation knob here has zero effect on your volume at all, which is great. Doesn't give you any false perception of like, oh, this is louder, this must be better. You know, it really just does actually do its job. And the time that I've found that this has really been effective is when I use something like a sub bass or a deep sine bass sound, and it can sound very siney, I suppose, like kind of almost like the wave generators are, yeah, it sounds a bit too not like a musical instrument and just too like I can't think of the name of them now, but look, mum, no computer has a rake of them and they just generate waves, oscillators of some kind. But yeah, kind of more an industrial thing rather than this, whereas when you redden up the sound here with like a sub and then throw a saturation up, it sounds great. That'd be a time where I'd probably use it as an insert effect though, because like you can drive the whole way up here, like up to 10, and it'll still sound good. If anyone's heard of my remix I did for the dance system competition, if you check out my Instagram, you'll find it. It's on my YouTube, Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Basically the sub bass in that was like very subby, that you know, it's almost, as you said there, a bit too not musical at all. So I just threw this on it the whole way up and it did the job. So what I'll do is I'll put the tape saturator on there as well and get a bit of juice going. Again, these are all things I used to use as insert effects, but I've just started making a send specifically for this saturation. So I'm going to rename that, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to File, and this is a handy thing for Ableton. If you go to Save, let me think, how do you do this again? Preferences, Save Current Set as default. So yeah, if you've probably opened up Ableton, you get your 2 audio, 2 MIDI, and then your 2 sends, reverb and delay. That's like the standard default say live set that they make for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just save this one because it's good in that it has all my sends. Now, one thing I will say though about doing this is because I'm using the Slate digital stuff, right, it has to verify off of Roland Cloud, and when you open Ableton, if it jumps to like a verification kind of a thing there with Roland, it can just take ages, or it can same with the fact that I've got Roland Cloud stuff in here as well. Like it's definitely the same crack. But yeah, they do like that verification, and the problem is obviously that just takes a lot longer for you to just get going, and it's annoying. And sometimes some of my projects I can't actually open anymore from this menu here. So you go File, Open Recent, and like that SIL one, that won't open anymore. So I actually have to go to my Finder, go to my folders through that, and open the ALS from there, and then that's the only way it'll open. And it's all because of whatever things I'm using in there are just pure hassle. Like, so yeah, bit of a balls, but I'm gonna leave it the way it is because I do like the I do like this default. I like my sends there. Those 6 are kind of like my go-to. Just a quick chat through them. Do you know what I'll do is I'll actually put some sounds going through this for a sec so you can hear them. Okay, so just put in standard kind of a beat. So I probably heard this a second ago. Okay, slightly hand off the way by accident. So just put this very quickly on here now. Okay, centered, mono. Now, nice sends over, so you'll get an idea as to what they all do. So room reverb is to give a short reverb, a little bit of space, just to bring it to life. Pretty dirty up there. That kind of gives a nice little room sound. Long reverb. Not really going to be using that on your drum kit. Maybe a snare and a gate just for that 80s vibe, but yeah, you get the picture there. Delay, slapback mono delay. Usually use this on vocals rather than giving them big, like kind of a wet reverb, kind of taily, whatever. It sounds a bit crazy on the drums there, but does work a charm on a vocal. Long delay, stereo. Chorus. Now, chorus. You might not hear very well here on this. No. Chorus does not work too well on the drums there, but what I would be using that for typically is my pads or some kind of anything I want to make sound far away or deep back in the mix as opposed to up front. Like the drums quite up front there now, like a bit of reverb, bit of chorus on anything will make it sound far away, which is just pretty handy little hack. Now the saturation one, there's a little bit of a volume increase there, to be fair. Probably the tape, to be honest. Either way, gives it a good bit of juice, which is exactly what you want with saturation. So that's my template, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work away here now, and sure, look, see what happens. Not sure what's wrong with the Novation. Doesn't want to do its thing anymore on Reaper, but meh. Um, so yeah, so a few little ideas there. Bit of crack anyway, and there's loads to kind of play with there. Like I've got the drums were predominantly the 909 and a couple of the 808s, and then that Anna 2 Sonic Academy make that. Basically that came with that Slate Digital subscription. So really really cool VST. It's got that dirty Moog sound, which I just love, and bar having an actual one, I think it's pretty cool sounding. Then the M1 Korg M1 classic sounds, just giving that spacey choir thing as you can see. Exactly what you want for that kind of deep vibe. Rhodes, so this is Rhodes in a blender. Basically Joss Moog, if you don't know him, serious, but he basically on his Bandcamp he gave away this like Moog sample pack. Like don't know if it was him playing it or if it's the stuff he's collected, but it sounds class. Now it's not giveaway. I think I had to pay for it. It was like a couple of euro or something, but great for just jamming and just throwing stuff in. Like 303 plugin from Roland Cloud, savage. Just love it. Doesn't really have any of the same annoyances as the drum VSTs, but just really does what you want. Sounds fucking class as well. Strings are from Roland Cloud as well. SRX. I actually do have the Spitfire Audio BBC one, which they gave away, which is really cool, but I don't know, it just sounds so reverby. I know these strings don't sound exactly real either, like, so I don't know, something about synth strings, but you see, I love just putting like jazz voicings on them, like that's a minor 9, C sharp minor 9. Actually, I decided that on my chord bot by Isla. Worth checking out. If you're into the old MIDI controllers. Chord bot by Isla, serious yoke. And yeah, so I just basically said, okay, well, it's, we're in C sharp, so I decided the bass line with this in C sharp straight away. It just kind of sounded in tune with the kick, so I was like, grand, that'll do. Chords on top of it then kind of just stemmed from that. That's the root note, and then these are just inversions of those chords, which is literally just a button you press on the chord bot, which is just, I showed it to my lecturer before, and he was like, that's basically cheating. Like, I was like, yep, it sure is. But other than that, then I have a sax line here that's from a different tune of mine that Liam O'Brien played on, a friend of mine, and I just like drop it into Simpler, into a slicer, and just fucking jam away. So a bit of crack. So there's only a few minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I have the APC 40 Mark II here, and what I'm going to do is I might just jam out with it and have a bit of crack. So I don't think there's anyone watching, but I'm going to play it anyway. Oh, there's a queue. Yeah, nice. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll just jam this, and hopefully it's not too bad. Cool. So, oop, just kill that. So yeah, that was a bit of crack. I turned the camera down there to see it, have a look at what's going on. This could be a total mess here now. Yep. So I'll probably just leave that the way it is. Although actually, yeah. So this stand is a bit dodgy. But basically, yeah, that's the first stream. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please do share, because I think I had about 3 people there max, and it'd be nice to have a few more than that. But yeah, look, thanks a million, and hopefully you pick something up from it. Bye bye.